welcome back to Chattin with CHAP. I'm live with you today, which is fun. Haven't been live for a while because we have been sharing with you all about the convention, which just happened this past weekend. And if you missed it, I don't know how you could possibly miss it if you're connected to us, but if you didn't know it was happening or you weren't able to come, I have really good news for you. And I have good news for you if you did come, because we have our recordings available. So hopefully if you're on the e-news list, you got an email yesterday telling all about the great discount that we're having right now on all of our recordings from the convention. You can get the entire set for only $99. That is tremendous value. So if you were there and want to spend some more time going over things again, that option is there for you. If you did not make it for some reason, go ahead and buy it, because then you can spend time listening to it. It's not all like drinking from a fire hose, kind of like it feels sometimes at convention, but all that information is there. It was a great weekend, so there are many really good messages. So check that out. You can go to chaponline.com and check out the recordings tab, or you can go to Alliance Recordings, one word, alliancerecordings.com, and check out the CHAP convention that was June 11th through 13th. They will have a whole listing right there for you if you search for CHAP. So enough of the commercial. Let's get into the good stuff. So today we are going to talk about all the summertime deadlines and reminders. Okay, I know it's not quite summertime yet, according to, the calendar. However, a lot of us are on summertime break. It is mid-June. How'd that even happen? I do not know. But it is mid-June already. So I am here to remind you of a few things. There's a lot of questions coming in regarding filing paperwork for next year and all that. But let's start for what is due for this coming year. So evaluations are due June 30th. So I said this coming year, but this year. This year's requirements for the rest of this school year, for the 25-26 school year, it's evaluations. That's what's left. You got to get your evaluations done and your letters in by June 30th. Do not miss that. I know there have been some folks who have wondered, well, what happens if I'm a little late? Don't test it. Don't test it, because school districts have every right to come after you and be like, well, where's your paperwork and why is it not in yet? So get that paperwork in. So what is it that you have to hand in? Just your evaluation letter. So you get your evaluation done. Your evaluator writes a little letter for you, says that you're compliant with the law. You take that letter, you make a photocopy, you keep the copy in your files, and then you take that letter to the district. Now, you can mail it. You can certified mail it. I would certified mail it, because the mail these days is like, what? You can drop it off in person. My school district also has a drop box that you can just drop it in the drop box instead of actually going inside. And sometimes they receive things via email. So if you want a receipt, the two best options are probably certified mail or going in and handing it to them in person and ask them to give you a receipt. So something to keep in mind. So I know June 30th is the day. You should be able to walk into the office on June 30th and drop off your paperwork. However, June 30th is a Monday and July 4th is the following Saturday. So keep in mind, some school districts might actually be closed that week because of the holiday that's coming up. I don't know. Who knows? But you need to be mentally prepared for that, because if you can't actually step into the building on June 30th, they could maybe think that you're late. So, if you have this stuff, take it in. Don't wait. Make it a priority. Get it in there and get your stuff taken care of. Another thing I wanted to bring up in regards to mailing your eval letters in, I know it's as long as it is postmarked by June 30th, you're good. Something to keep in mind these days too is if you drop your letter in the mailbox, like you didn't go to the counter, but you dropped it in one of the drop boxes, it is possible that drop box won't be picked up until the following day. So say you drop it in there on June 30th and you're like, oh, well, I got it in on June 30th. That's good. Well, it might not get picked up until July 1st and then stamped and postmarked. So it needs to be postmarked by June 30th. So if maybe you have a super late evaluation for some reason, or you're on vacation, you're just coming back, and you are getting your letter to the post office on the 30th, go to the counter and have your letter stamped by the clerk so that it is postmarked the 30th, because it's not a guarantee that you're going to have a postmark by the 30th if you drop it in one of the blue boxes somewhere. Just a warning for you. But it is important for us to uphold our end of the law and to make sure that we have our paperwork in there by the 30th. Okay, that was that. Let's move on to evaluators. I'm going to take a sip from my mug. Do you see this lovely CHAP 40 mug? Ooh. That was one of our prizes. We had 2 winners win the CHAP mug this year. I know this is probably backwards for you guys on YouTube. It ends up flipping, but anyway, CHAP 40. 40 years. Okay, topic number 2 is evaluators. So obviously, you need to be having your evaluations. And just so you know, that needs to get done, obviously, so you can get an evaluator letter by June 30th. Now, here's the thing. Every year, there's always people that say, I didn't know I had to get an evaluation. Honestly, I do not know how you can be a homeschooler in the state of Pennsylvania and not know that you need an evaluation. You need an evaluation. If you need to file paperwork, you need an evaluation. That's just all there is to it. So if you know anyone who's getting started, please point them to Homeschool Pennsylvania so they can get the law and they can learn the law and they can know all the things they're needing to do. Because there's still people posting in groups out there saying, oh, I didn't know, or I need an evaluator. I never found one yet. Can someone help me out? And there are evaluators out there who are super sweet and super nice and really and willing to jump on there and do it for you last minute. But honestly, everyone, it's not the best way to run your homeschool, and it's not the nicest way to treat our evaluators. Evaluators work really hard, and it is a hard job. And they need a break. They want summer too. You know, even though our deadline is June 30th, I mean, they'd probably like to have a break before that. I know that's probably not realistic for evaluators, but just keep that in mind. There are a number of evaluators who are starting to make a cutoff date saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing evaluations after this date. I'm on my summer break. So you might get into a sticky spot there. And please, please, please do not wait until July to get an evaluation. You should be having that done sooner. So again, look for your evaluator earlier in the year. It's something that is on our timeline that we suggest to you to get that taken care of sooner rather than later. Just out of respect for evaluators and their time. So it does not constitute an emergency for them if you fail to plan ahead. But you can, thank God if someone is willing to work with you super last minute, because, they don't have to. Just saying. Okay, that was topic number 2. So moving on to topic number 3, getting started. So this is more a little bit towards those who have not homeschooled before, but it might not hurt for y'all to listen in. And then I have another reminder later that's for everybody. So getting started. If you are just getting started homeschool in the state of Pennsylvania, no matter what the age of your children could be little and you're just getting started, or maybe you've decided to pull your children out of public school or private school or charter school and they're older. A child any age getting started. So here's some tips for you. Check out the quick start guide to homeschooling in Pennsylvania video that is on our YouTube channel. So if you go to CHAP Homeschool Pennsylvania on YouTube, where you find all of my podcast episodes, and search for Quick Start Guide, you will find the episode where I explain how to jump into homeschooling. It gets all the little steps and pieces in there for you. There's also a print form of that on chaponline.com. You can go under like homeschool law, and it's like Quick Start Guide. It's right there on our webpage. And some other podcast episodes from Chat with Chap that you're going to want to watch if you're brand new and you're really not sure or feeling comfortable about getting started, you want to check out episode 217 and 143 for sure. Other ones that could be helpful to you would be 139, 301, and 146. Besides that, out on the Homeschool Pennsylvania YouTube channel, we have the homeschool law playlist. So, you go to YouTube and across the top there, you can do videos and shorts and blah, blah, blah. There's a playlist one. Go to the playlist one, and on there we have a number of playlists that group the videos for you. And there's a homeschool law playlist. All of the videos there pertain to all the little bitty parts. You can be like, what about the 180 days? What about medical? What about immunizations? Like all the little things that are on the paperwork that we file are videos in that list. So go check out the videos in that list and watch every single one of them. And then go to homeschoolpennsylvania.org and you can read it. The law is there. All the parts of the law are broken down into different pages. You can learn all about them. You can link back to those videos from there and watch them again. All the forms you need, the unsworn declaration, the objectives. If you're a private tutor, there's even private tutor paperwork there. It's all there. You can get everything you need to get started with paperwork-wise on homeschoolpennsylvania.org. You don't want to miss it. So if you are brand spanking new, meaning like you've never, ever homeschooled before and you need to file paperwork this year, the question that we always hear is, when do I need to do it? When's the paperwork got to be in by? So it's kind of a weird answer. You need to have the paperwork in by the third day after the beginning of your school district's year. So say your school district starts on August, what is it? This year is kind of weird, August 24, something like that. Say they start on August 24. You would have to have paperwork in by 3 days after that, 24, 25, 26. Why? Well, if they know your child is of school age and they're expecting them to be there and they're not there and there's no paperwork in, then they're going to start counting truancy against you because your kid's not in school. So my advice to everyone who is starting homeschool and has never homeschooled before is always, if you know you're going to do it, get it in. Get it in. You can get it in anytime now. I know it's not the end of June yet. You can get it in now. You can hand it in early July. You technically would have until that third day after the first day of school. That's for brand new people. That's not for returning homeschoolers, just brand new people. But if you know without a doubt that you are going to homeschool, don't mess around. Just get the paperwork in, no problem. So, and the other question is, what about my child who's going to turn 6, on this date or not? Okay, so what are the rules? The rules are September 1st is the deadline. If your child is 6 before or on September 1st, you must file paperwork. If your child is born on September 2nd and turns 6 on September 2nd, guess what? You get another year to fly under the radar, which is awesome. One of my poor children is September 1st. But anyway, so that is that. I'm hard fast. There you go, September 1st. So if your child is 6 on September 1st, you're filing paperwork. 6 on September 2nd or later, you got another year to fly under the radar. It's great. So the other thing, I think Erica's laughing at me. The other thing to mention, I did mention homeschoolpennsylvania.org. The other thing I want to mention is if you did miss convention, even if you didn't miss convention, but you didn't attend the sessions, there are sessions about the law. I had 2 sessions that really helped people get started. Alicia had one on littles that was really, really good. Those sessions were on Thursday. Will Estrada had some on Saturday that will help people in regarding to law. So if you're concerned about the law or you're concerned about what does my homeschool look like? Should it look like the public school? What grade do I put my kid in? What is this requirements paragraph in the law that terrifies me? There's so much work to do. Get those sessions and listen to them. And I tell you what, just go binge my Chattin with CHAP podcast on the YouTube channel because all that stuff is there. It's all there and you will be encouraged. So anyway, if you're all getting started and you still have questions, write into us. We can help you out. Again, watch those videos that I mentioned sooner. Make sure you are listening to the Homeschool Pennsylvania Law playlist on YouTube. Okay, so that was the end of the getting started segment. We're going to move into the last segment. I'm going to take a sip out of my lovely mug. Okay, so, Erica says, if you did miss it this year, don't miss it next year. I agree, Erica. It is a great investment. I'm going to talk about that for just a second because it is a great investment on your time. One of the things I talk about a lot is your example is what trains your kids more than your words. So what you're doing is what's going to train your children more than what you're saying to them. It's you can say, do as I say, not as I do, but I'm sorry, they're going to do what you do, right? So, so Sarah's in there, woo woo. So be an example to them of learning. We're all lifetime learners. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. We have to constantly be learning new things. There's constantly new technology and all these different things. We are constantly learning, and we're trying to teach our children the love of learning and enjoying learning new things. So going to the convention is part of that. You're showing your kids that you are learning new things. There are speakers that come and they pour into you. They help you with marriage. They help you with parenting. They help you with homeschooling. They help you with special needs children. They help you mentor other people to get started and all those types of things. These are all different things that we are learning, and you're showing your child that you want to learn and you want to grow and you want to be better equipped to help them. And when you are better equipped to help them, you are better equipped to help someone else. So it's not just helping you get ready for your next year of homeschooling. It's giving you more knowledge, giving you more understanding as an example to your kids of the fact that you are also still learning. So make it a priority. Start socking away the pennies. Man, you can stay on campus for so cheap. And the meal ticket is such a value. You can really do this thing, and, get some girls together and do the VIP ticket. I'm telling you, it is such a good deal. Anyway, that's the end of my commercial. Thank you, Erica, for bringing that up. So make it a priority for next year. Same weekend, second weekend in June, I believe. The intention is same weekend, same place. And it is going to be a really, really, really good weekend. You will not regret it ever. So moving on. Number 4, we're going to come up to our 4th topic of the day, paperwork reminders. So I did a little bit of stuff for the people who are just getting started. Keep listening, getting started people, because this talks about the specific paperwork you got to do, but this is for everybody. So y'alls, if you're homeschooling, you homeschooled this year, you're going to continue homeschooling next year, this is what you need to do. We have to file, as homeschoolers, we have to file an affidavit or an unsworn declaration. They are the same, they accomplish the same thing. The affidavit needs to be notarized, and sometimes you need to pay for that. The unsworn declaration does not. Many school districts would notarize an affidavit for you. There are other people who would do it for you for free, libraries, people whatever. It's very easy to file the unsworn declaration, and then you don't have to deal with that at all. Note, every single school district must accept both documents. If your school district is telling you that you have to use the unsworn declaration or you have to use the affidavit, they are outside the bounds of the law. They have to accept both documents. Okay? You can let us know if your school district is saying that they won't, because that is something we need to make HSLDA aware of. We need to abide by the law, but the school districts do too, and we need to stand firm on what the law says. And the law says we can use either. So not only do we file one of those 2 documents, but we also file objectives. So objectives is just a generic list of what you want to accomplish in all the different subject groups, that paragraph of requirements. The thing that's really important to remember, and I didn't know this when I started, but you do not need to list your specific texts or any kind of a timeline that you're doing for objectives. Absolutely not. Keep it general. And honestly, guys, you can go to homeschoolpennsylvania.org, print off the objectives that we have there, and just use them as is. The only thing I did this year, and I literally use the same ones every single year, even if I have 2 kids, both in elementary or both in secondary, they have the same objectives, because honestly, if you read them, they're totally true, and we're totally doing what those objectives say. I did change my senior daughters. I took off one of the subjects, I don't know what, maybe science, because she's completed the requirements for that and she's not planning on taking a science this year. So I took that off. I didn't necessarily need to, because I'm sure she's going to do something sciencey this year, but that's just what I did. But anyway, you can reuse those objectives every single year. So when you drop paperwork off, it's either the affidavit or the unsworn declaration and the objectives. If you are a returning homeschooler, this needs to be by August 1st. Make sure you make copies of what you do, file it in your own file, and then drop off your original paperwork to the school district. So it's by August 1st for returning homeschoolers. I always hand in next year's paperwork with my evaluator letter, so it's done. So I'm usually handing my stuff in June. This year I handed it in May, just because I was done early. So that is what a returning homeschooler would do. If you're a brand new homeschooler, again, I talked about that earlier. You have until 3 days after the school year starts, but don't wait that late. If you know you're going to do it, get that paperwork in, done, don't need to worry about it. Someone should notify you saying that they received it. Now, I want to say something else here. If they say you've been approved, that's not a thing. A lot of school districts think they approve us. They don't. They are simply a paperwork drop-off location. So the school district does not approve your homeschool. Side note, but again, need to know the law and be aware of what it is that the law is saying. Okay, next thing. If they ask you for medical or immunization information, you do not need to provide any of it. Your paperwork, your affidavit or unsworn declaration is enough. You do not need to provide them with anything else. If they push back on that, the only thing I would respond to is a certified letter sent by your superintendent. And if they're asking for that, at that point in time, I would talk to CHAP or HSLDA, because the stance is that your paperwork is enough proof of those things. So make sure you reach out to us if you get to that point. If something comes from someone who's not the superintendent or it doesn't come certified, you don't necessarily need to listen to it. Just make sure you are complying to the law. Very important to comply to the law. You don't ignore something if you yourself are not complying to the law. So that's something to be very careful about. That's why you got to read the law and know it. Okay. The last thing I wanted to remind you guys of is online systems. So we handed out an article to leaders who came to the convention this year about this, so they could make their groups aware. But everybody out there, schools, everything's getting more digitized, right? Everything is on the computer, everything. And people don't want to receive your paperwork anymore. They don't want a piece of paper that they have to file somewhere. They don't want something physical. They want it all to be on the computer because it's easier for them. And some school districts are saying you have to use our online registration system. You have to use this paperwork. You have to use our version of the paperwork. Again, never use the school district's version of an affidavit or an unsworn declaration. Please use ours or HSLDA's, but do not use the school districts, because most school districts actually don't understand the homeschool law, and it is different than the public school law. So that's just something to be aware of. But they're asking you, fill in this information, put it in so we can keep easier track of you, or whatever their reason is. It's this handy dandy tool. But part of it is the law doesn't say that you have to do that. So if they say you have to do that, you can say, no, I don't have to do it because the law says I don't have to do it. So that's one reason. The other reason is most of these online registration systems are asking for things that you do not need to give. All you give on your paperwork is the child's name and the child's age. You give your home address. I can't even remember if our phone number's on there or not. And then your name is the supervisor. And then you sign, all the other things. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We're not guilty of these things. And you sign on the back. Many of those online portals are going to ask you for extraneous information about either you or your children, and it's not needed. Who knows? Maybe they would even say, scan your diploma here, right? Send us a scan of your diploma. Instead of coming to your house and knocking on your door asking for your diploma, they might ask you to scan it. So that is not part of the law. You do not need to do that. You do not need to comply to that. So just keep that in mind. And I would just say, don't do it. That's just my thing. Again, HSLDA has a great article on why you shouldn't do this. You might want to get out there to their site and look that up. I don't know what they titled it, maybe online registration systems, digital age, something like that. But you want to check it out and see what they have to say about it, and stand firm in the law. Stand firm in the law. I am going to be recording with one of the ladies that was involved with the Elanco situation. Recording this week. It'll be coming out sometime in July, so you can listen to that. And that's all about, she knew the law, she stood firm on it, and, stood on the side of freedom and not caving into pressures or fears. So this is something we all need to be doing. I know you can do it. I know it might sound scary, but all the information you need is at your fingertips with all of CHAP's resources. Everything you absolutely possibly need, we have for you. And then if you want to talk to somebody, we have mentors too. So reach out to us, send us a message on Facebook, send us an email, reach out to a mentor that's on the mentor list. We are here to support you. We are more than willing to do so. And it'll be a great year. It'll be a really fun summer, and it'll be a great year coming up. So that's all I have for today. And hopefully that was helpful to you. And next week, Ro and I will be talking about convention and what we enjoyed and what we thought was particularly special. And after that, we're going to be moving into our Celebrate America 250 Years series coming through the month of July. And then later on, we'll be talking about CHAP history. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for your comments. They were very, very helpful today. Good reminders. And enjoy the gorgeous. It's gorgeous where I am. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it is absolutely gorgeous today. So get out and enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you next time. Take care now.